What's clicked and why?
Just you got players who know the game and know the responsibility of each position. Kind of, keep the ball moving. When we have the ball, there's a fluidity where rotations happen. Not one person just plays one position. There's a fluidity where we can rotate, so it makes it hard for other teams to defend. And then defensively, you guys willing to do the work, the dirty work, getting in, getting stuck in, tracking back, which solidifies the midfield and keeps the midfield locked. So.
We heard from Julian whenever he was talking. He said that you guys communicate a lot out there. He said that part of the reason he feels so confident is because he says that you have his back. Have you developed that partnership over
I've always told him, I guess for him previous years he's gone forward and they've been exposed a lot like that. And I've always told him, when I rotate out, you have the freedom. Don't hesitate. Go forward. Try to get in behind. Get in a position where you can get in the second post. So if there's a cross coming in, I got your back. Don't even. I don't want to curse, but don't even worry about it. I got your back. I know if you're forward, I'm watching your back. And yeah, I'm trying to get that through his head because a lot of times he's hesitant and just overthinking things. So the more better I can make it clear to him, the more confident he'll feel going, forwards. And as you can see, he's been getting up there, especially when he doesn't. We have a word during the game or halftime. Get it sorted out while we can and not afterwards. And, it happens. So, yeah.
Do you guys allow yourself a little bit of a, I don't want to say exhale, but a little congratulations amongst yourself just to get into the playoffs first? And as you sort of reset your focus on to wrapping up and go ahead and try to secure a home game?
Yeah, it's not really, I guess it's a congrats for a lot of guys who haven't made it or, this club's been up there in previous years, but it's been a while where it hasn't had the success. And, I've personally haven't been in the playoffs as well, given, the hard run we had with TFC I guess the last 2 years now. But for me, my mentality is I'm used to it. I'm not. As you can see, I'm not jumping up and down. We made the playoffs. It's time to get down to work. We got a few more games to go until we get the opportunity to lift that trophy. So there's still a lot more work to do, and hopefully everyone has the same mentality.
Putting the result aside on Sunday, there's always talk of entering the playoffs with the right momentum. So what type of play do you need to see? What improvements from past mistakes need to happen in this Sunday's match to make you feel like you've got things rolling heading into the postseason?
I would say more awareness on what's happening in behind. There's going to be plays where guys are overloading your side, and you got to be more worried about what's going on behind you rather than what's going on in front of you. Sometimes we're just locked in front. Someone's making a backdoor run. That's how RSL got a goal on us, and previous teams like that as well. So come playoffs, it's a different game. It's more defensive, hold it down. Not let anything get in, and sometimes it's a bit of luck as well. So it's a pretty hectic game. So.
This is a Houston team that has sort of surged now that they've been eliminated from the playoffs, right? Mm-hmm. And they've been playing well. What do you expect from that game, and how important is it to the team that you guys secure a home playoff spot?
Yeah, it's definitely important. We want to have that home playoff game for our fans, for confidence, just to hold it here would be special for everyone. But yeah, Houston's obviously been on a good run, and it's their last home game, so they want to finish on a high note as well. So it's going to be tough. We're not walking in there. We're not going in there looking for easy 3 points. So it's going to be a tough grind, and we're ready for it. So.
Mark, is there something that you have learned about this team this entire season?
Is there something I learned about this team this entire season? We're coming around. This team was definitely not in the greatest place when I first got here. So. Little by little, piece by piece, it's getting better, and the club overall as an organization is getting better piece by piece as well. So I can say we're moving in the right direction here. So yeah.
Thanks, Mark.
Tennis shoes out today.
Greg, obviously making the playoffs was the first goal. Now you have a real chance at improving maybe your standing, getting a home game. How important is getting a home game to this team?
Yeah, I think it's important. It's a a goal of ours. We'd love to give our fans another game. Also, I think momentum is precious in MLS, and so we've been on a good stretch over this last set of games, and we want to play well, we want to perform, we want to get a good result. Certainly we would like to get home field advantage. There's a lot of reasons for us to go out and really focus with the right mentality and approach this game as if it's a playoff game, right? To be in the right mindset. You don't get time to have a lull and try to get yourself back when we only have one game in front of us between now and the playoffs. So it's the guys are focused and they're preparing for this weekend in the right way.
Houston has been on a better stretch, I guess, since they got eliminated. Certainly not playing like a team that's eliminated.
Sure.
What do you expect from them in this game?
Yeah, I think they'll continue to do what they've been doing, which is they're stretching themselves out at time, using their athleticism and speed, trying to get pressure on the ball, trying to turn you over in areas of the field where they can use that in transition. They're trying to get out on top of the game, it looks like. If they have to, they'll get under the ball, but I think they've been playing like a team who has not a whole lot to lose, but can go out and really try to maybe express themselves, push themselves against the opposition and go for the game. And they've been able to get themselves on top of some of these games, which is also played into their favor, because they are for me, they're one of their best qualities is in the transition. And so when you can get on top of games, and you can get other teams spread out and find some more transition moments. So they've looked solid, and it'll be a good game for us, because I don't think there'll be a team that comes out and just sits back. I think they'll come out and look to impress their fans and go for it and play the game straight up.
When you first played them, they sort of punished you guys with their transition.
They did, yeah.
But you guys are a different group. How do you sort of think this group now can handle what they're going to bring in here?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good challenge for us. They did punish us in the last game in transitions. We lost balls sometimes poorly. We weren't ready for some of the moments that we didn't handle well. I think we need to be more mature. We need to show that growth. We need to obviously, when we do have possession or stretches of possessions, we need to make sure that we stay disciplined and that we manage the transitions. Guys like Pico, he'll 50-50 defend. He's clever. He'll defend when he really needs to defend, but he'll cheat the transition, and he's got a ton of pace, and he's a hard guy to get a hold of in the attack. And you have Quintero, who is slippery, and he'll do the same thing. He'll defend when he feels like he's really needed, and then he'll look for the transition ball when he feels like he's not. So these are guys you have to keep a track of, and for us, we'll find out again what's our discipline, what's our security with the ball. For us, it's to continue to be attacking oriented and not just possession oriented. Sometimes, it's not allowing ourselves to get too comfortable on the ball, but to really try to finish our attacks and make the opposition make plays in front of their goal. When we finish attacks deep in their half, it's much harder to transition out of those situations. So those are some things that we need to work through, and I think just our collective defending, just again managing different situations. As I said to the guys today, when you get to the playoffs, you get the extremes of everything that you see during the course of an MLS season. I don't know if we'll get extremes against Houston specifically, but we need to be able to again prepare ourselves mentally for those kinds of things. Once you put emotion, once you put the elimination on the line, all those kinds of things. So we just want to be in the right mindset as we work through this weekend and venture towards the playoffs.
Mark and Julian both spoke about their relationship in the game with each other. Mark trying to tell Julian, hey, you can trust that I'll cover you when you make those runs up. I guess, what have you noticed about the way their partnership has evolved over the course of the season?
Yeah, I think as Mark has come back healthy in this last stretch of games, Jules, for me, has gotten more comfortable. He looks more certain. He looks more confident that he can get into the attack with some freedom, and that somebody is going to cover him, that he's not going to have to race back. We also have Sega on alert, who can cover ground to make sure that they cover behind Jules when he has those moments. But just also for Jules, choosing the right moments. Sometimes I think earlier in the season, he would just set up in high positions, and then if the ball transitioned, he would be out of the play already. Now I think he's joining in at the right times, which is allowing for some interchange to happen. He's not just standing up in a high position. So I think the timing is getting better, the trust is getting better. I think our responsibility behind the ball has improved, which means all of those things can be a little bit more fluid. The timing's been better, which has given Jules more opportunity in the crossing and the final action, I think, over this last little series of games than he had for a stretch there. But some of it, too, is I feel like he seems more at ease and more confident right now than, say, he did in a little bit of a middle stretch of the season.
And on a lighter note, both guys also talked about the personality of the French guys in your locker room and how they're nonstop. And I don't know, what have you observed of that camaraderie?
Yeah, it's a funny group of guys who they spend a lot of time together, but each of their personalities is just so different. And Sam is like the lightning bolt for everything, you know, all the banter, he's the middle of it. They're always teasing Sam and he's taking it and trying to give it back. Sega's kind of the old wise soul of the group that is you know, very calm and very like just adult like. And Kevin just winds up Sam, and Kevin's kind of quiet in a way, but he has his way of constantly poking at Sam, and it's just nonstop. These guys are nonstop, and other guys start to get into it because they realize that Sam reacts a lot to things, and so then you can't do that in a locker room, or else for sure you're going to get it. So a lot of guys will feed into that, and Douglas and Sam have a great relationship in terms of banter and competition and stuff like that. So yeah, it's evolved as guys settle in and get to understand each other's personalities, and so they can make it fun sometimes, for sure.
This has always seemed to be a locker room that gets along. Hasn't always been the past, been the same around here. But how has that helped this group sort of turn things around here lately?
Yeah, good. I think there's a good balance of youth and maturity now. I think you know, guys who are super professional, but also guys who also kind of just have joy and they're every day. There's like a nice mix of that, which makes for a good locker room. And I think it's not easy sometimes for guys who speak different languages to really get to know each other. And sometimes that takes experiences. Sometimes you have to dig in a little bit deeper. Our guys have been able to, I think, through this course of really the last almost 2 years with this group, that guys are starting to learn a little bit more about where each other come from and what makes each other tick and what's important for each other. And I think once you invest in each other like that, then you realize you all have the same goals, you all want the same end game, you're all in it together, and you just start to learn a little bit more about each other, which, you know, helps everybody to move forward. And it's a good group of guys. Like, there's nobody in there that's, you know, an ass or anything like that. Everybody's a good guy, and then once they just get to know each other, then it plays itself out, you know. And they have some games that they do in the locker room, two-touch and other things that they do that create some banter and energy inside there as well.
Greg, we talk about mentality and consistency during the season. Is there something that you have learned about this team, especially you know, this entire season?
Yeah, you know, I think it's stuff that we knew. I think our additions to our team have really helped the consistency of our group. Some of it's just like an emotional consistency. Some of it is just getting from week to week, game to game, you know, performance consistency, things like that. So the group, I think, has grown from that capacity. Look over this last 10, 11 games, our results, we've dropped one, you know, which there's games inside of there where we maybe should have solidified 3 points and we didn't. There's games where we came back and picked up a point. So I think there's more trust, there's more belief, there's more clarity, there's more of all those things that tend to lead you towards consistency. And again, starting to understand each other a little bit more. But I think the personalities that we added, Martin is like ice cold, right? Like he just this all the time, which gives you just a little bit more. I think that's helped guys like Derek and Sega as well, and our other guys back there. Gaston is very similar, just a man and professional and been around, and he helps bring. So the balance between our youth, because we built with a lot of youth when we started to put this team together last year. And now I think we just have that balance between guys who have had professional, long, stable careers, who are also providing stability for the guys around them. So,
as far as the playoffs, do you like the format
of the knockout?
What are your thoughts? Just like playing the entire match in one game.
Yeah, I really personally, I really liked the home and away. Like for me, that was outstanding because it's kind of even in a way, and you can play both ends of it, and you can feel the first game out and know what you need in the second. I really enjoy that. I think that's the best side of it. I don't necessarily think the best team wins in this type of scenario. I think you get, you know, one play, one call, one mistake, one something can be the difference. And so I really think this is a tournament, you know, and the purest of the sense. I think the home and away gives you really the best chance of getting the best team out at the end of it all. So, but it is what it is. So, you know, now we really have to be consistent. We have to really decrease our mistakes. We have to play with intelligence. So you learn all of the things that you learned about your group, and now it's actually, as I said to the guys today, like, tournament play is very different than league play. And only one Supporter Shield winner in the last 10 years has won a championship. So it doesn't really matter what you do in the regular season. It's really, can you now adapt to what tournament play is going to look like? You've seen Portland over the years be very good at tournament play, not be the best team in necessarily in league play. But it's a different can of worms sometimes, and you got to be able to adapt now into that mindset of every play matters, and every little situation matters, and risk reward, all those kinds of things are just heightened now that you get into that. Plus the emotion of the stadium and both teams, all is going to be different. So it's exciting, no doubt. It creates excitement. I think maybe it creates excitement for the fans that you get a whole game is like do or die. For me, it's a little stressful, but no. Yeah. No, but I liked the two. We were very successful in the past with the two legs and being able to adapt depending on what the score was and things like that. So, but we are where we are, and it'll be fun. So,
any thoughts on the 1 seed coming down to play the 4-5 and not necessarily the lowest seed?
Yeah, that's. I mean, ultimately, when you win the top seed, you want to play the lowest. Theoretically, you would want to play the lowest seed team, and you just adapt along the way. So, this is, I guess, just a bracket style, and you just roll with it. So, I don't know if it gives the top team the greatest advantage, but I really do think once you get to this point, what you want is maybe home field advantage, and then you just have to deal with whoever comes your way. And so I could see the number 1 seed wanting the lowest team, but I'm not sure how much it matters in the grand scheme of things. It might, but it's marginal. So,
awesome.
All right.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Yes.